everyone, welcome to this update video this morning. I trust and hope that you're doing well. So we're going to be looking at what is happening across the Caribbean, and I will be talking about those tropical waves as well. But first things first, there was a strong earthquake in parts of in the southeastern Caribbean last night just before 12 a.m. So there was an estimated magnitude 6.1 earthquake. So this was offshore Venezuela, well offshore Trinidad, and this is the kind of earthquake that is certainly capable of doing some damage. So thankfully the epicenter was offshore, so the strongest shaking would have been felt at the epicenter. The further we go from the epicenter, the weaker the seismic waves. So this earthquake, as I said, it was a pretty sizable one, and we don't get these strong earthquakes on a regular, so they do happen from time to time. And as I've mentioned, before in previous videos, the Caribbean is seismically active, so we will get these earthquakes, but it's a matter of when. That is what happened, guys, last night. That 6.1 shaking, pretty sizable earthquake. But there were some power outages reported by the Trinidad and Tobago Weather Center. There were some power outages. However, there were no immediate reports of damages or injuries, and hopefully, it remains that way. Now, with some of these sizable earthquakes, there are aftershocks which may continue hours, days, weeks, sometimes even months after the main earthquake. And the aftershocks, they can be smaller shakings within that general area tied to the large earthquake or the main earthquake that actually shook. So that is what happened, guys. And so now we're going to be switching to weather. Here you can see on the infrared weather satellite that we've got some activity out there. We've got our couple tropical waves making their way across the region. So two are in the Caribbean. One just entered, and it has been, the source of rain for some of the eastern islands of the Caribbean over the past day or so. Another one is within the vicinity of Jamaica, continuing to the west, and we've got three out there in the main development region. So we've got all our tropical waves. None are marked right now to be watched for development. And then as we head to the Caribbean, here we can see that there is some activity across some areas. Still some showers moving through parts of the Lesser Antilles, the Leeward Islands, Windward Islands, and there's overall a lot of moisture around, so that is going to be helping out with the rainfall activity, the thunderstorms, especially as we head into the afternoon hours. ABC Islands, though, pretty dry. As we can see, nothing much is really happening at this time. And in Central America, for some areas, there's definitely some thunderstorms and some downpours this morning. Then up to the vicinity of the Bahamas, Turks and Caicos, we can see that there is some thunderstorm activity around as well. Now we want to go ahead and talk about this disturbance. So it is going to be moving in later tonight into parts of Mexico, and I'm not expecting much in terms of seeing development of this system, but it is given a 40% chance to develop. And as I speak, the hurricane hunters, they're heading there to investigate the system, to see what's happening with it. So we'll see what happens, but regardless, it's likely to unleash those flood triggering rains. And the area is pretty soaked, especially since Alberto moved by a couple days ago. So now we have this next system moving in. So regardless of it becoming a depression or not, it is still going to be producing those very heavy downpours, which may result in some periods of flooding. And now heading back to the vicinity of the Caribbean, we're looking at the rainfall forecast for today. And we're seeing a lot of color around. So with all the moisture, there is likely to be some substantial rain across some areas, especially as we head into the afternoon hours, and with the aid of those tropical waves moving by as well. So within the vicinity of the Northern Caribbean, Jamaica, the Cayman Islands, Cuba, a couple spots in Hispaniola, there's likely to be some heavy downpours across some areas, even up to the Bahamas, Turks and Caicos, and even Florida. As we saw, there is some activity in the area, so there may be rainfall amounts probably just under an inch in total as we head throughout the day. Central America, Mexico, all the way through Panama, it may be active for many areas, and the maximum rainfall amounts could be up to 2.5 or 3 inches or so within the vicinity of Guatemala. So this area here, it has been active over the past 2 weeks or so, and it is remaining active for right now. ABC Islands, as we saw, much isn't happening right now, so much is not even expected through today. But if you guys are lucky, you may get some passing showers. Down to northern South America, later in the afternoon hours when we get, that daytime heat, and it's going to be aiding in the rain and thunderstorms that develop within the area. And then, as I mentioned, that tropical wave is moving by the Lesser Antilles, so it's going to help out to unleash even more rain across the area. And then for Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands, there could also be some showers within the area. So that is what is expected in terms of rainfall today. Again, there was that estimated 6.1 earthquake that struck in the Southeast Caribbean Sea, and as of right now, not seen where there are any fatalities, any damages. But of course, I'll update you if any information of that sort becomes official, which I hope not. And again, we've got a couple tropical waves moving across the Atlantic basin. As of right now, none of them is marked to be watched for development over the course of the next week. But I mentioned it yesterday that as we head into as we close off June and head into July, we could see one of them try to get itself together. But I'll keep you posted on that as time goes by. So that is it for right now, guys. And I do hope you found this update to be informative. But if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. I'll respond when I can. And remember to always be weatherwise.